Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Oh, forgot my tilak. Wow, Hare Krishna. I can't remember everything. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, I was chanting this morning before the sun comes up. That's the best time because there's not much activity going on, so you can really, really concentrate more on the holy name. But as the sun was coming up, Hare Krishna, I was appreciating more and more, or how should we say, realizing and appreciating, they really go together. The more you realize, the more you appreciate. And the more you appreciate, more opportunity you have to realize. They kind of go together. Realization and appreciation, or knowledge and bliss. But as the sun was coming up, I was appreciating and realizing and appreciating and realizing we're all eternal. It's not like we have to become eternal. We are eternal. We don't die. Sorry, I know that's disappointing for some people who really like to not be alive as they're suffering so much, but we are eternal. We don't have to become eternal. It's the outer body that changes. Either Kṛṣṇa explains this in the Gita, we're either eternally conditioned, which means birth, death, old age, and disease, birth, death, old age, and disease, birth, death, old age, and disease, the cycle of samsara, taking on different forms, material forms, according to our consciousness or desires. Or we're eternally liberated. Krishna, we don't take birth over and over and over again. So as the sun was coming up, I was, oh no, here comes another day. And it never stops. Hare Krishna. Hello, Lance. Sun's coming up. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. And I was just appreciating how we're eternal. We don't die. Either we're eternally conditioned and we take birth over and over again, birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, different bodily forms, or we're eternally liberated. But we always exist, either in knowledge, bliss, in the eternal realm, or ignorance, repeated birth and death. Hare Krishna. So Surya reminded me this morning, as he was coming up, that here comes another day. You can't stop it. You can't stop this. This is going to go on because you're eternal. Now, which kind of eternal do you want to be? Do you want to be eternally taking birth over and over and over and over and over and over and over? You can do it unlimitedly. Or You can just be eternally liberated, not have to experience birth, death, old age, and disease, birth, death, old age. You don't have to experience that. You can get a body that isn't subject to those things. Sign me up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I was listening to a very well thought out presentation yesterday on YouTube. Because of this virus thing, many of the devotees, if they want to be able to preach at all to people, they have to go online, because large gatherings are really, really frowned upon and made to be almost impossible to do. If you have to be 6 feet apart, I mean, you have to have a football stadium to have like 20 people, you know. So they're going online, and which is kind of, I think it's Krishna's trick. But so I was listening to this presentation. It was very well thought out, and the devotee is a very gentle, sweet, motive goodness devotee. And it was an interesting presentation because it was very logically presented how the Lord isn't realized by logic. Hello? It was actually pretty funny. He was putting down the value of logic very logically. I tell you, this is quite something, this Krishna consciousness. So he logically defeated logic as the path of devotion. And then he was so kind and generous as to chant japa so everyone could hear. And there were just too many haris in there. It wasn't the mantra. So I was thinking, I don't want to be a Ramachandra Puri type, you know, where I'm finding fault. So I see the, you know, the good part, but I did have to laugh a little bit. You know, it's like, well, you can never have enough haris, you know. You never know when you might need an extra one or two. I mean, he chanted for at least 20 minutes, very clearly, way too many haris. It wasn't the mantra. Oh, Krishna. But it was a nice presentation. It gave me a lot to think about. He really dug into some scriptures we don't usually study, some of the Vaishnavacharya scriptures. I was appreciating. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Not that my japa is so perfect, you know. But Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna. Hare Krishna. Let me see if I can find somebody that has. Okay, Lance is here, and boy, Lance, please do more of that nice chanting with the guitar. Oh my, that you did the other day. Oh my, it was so sweet. It was really, really beautiful. Oh man, can you do more of that? This is really relief. Really, really nice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. Trying to find something here. Yeah, if we want to know what, here's some Prabhupada chanting japa. Okay, let me get it here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Connecting.
This oceanside Verbo is about to become the backdrop for an unforgettable vacation memory.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna,
that's
Krishna
it.
Krishna.
That's the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. That's the mantra I got. You know, if you hear people chanting japa, I mean, my goodness, they chant all kinds of things. Snickety, snickety, ram, ram, snickety, snickety, ram, snickety, ram, snickety. Anyway, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah. So it was really interesting. Like, after giving that incredibly intellectual presentation, to hear him chant some mantra. It wasn't the mantra Prabhupada was giving. It was something. It was names of God. So we offer all respect. But it wasn't the mantra Prabhupada gave. Hare Krishna. So we're practicing. Krishna. I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm trying to fix the window so I can hang the curtains there. And that's what I'll probably do today. At least that's the plan. But for now, that's what's going on. So, we're eternal. We don't die when the body dies. We can't be cut. We can't be burnt. We can't be drowned. We can't be dried up. We're eternal. Ever existing. So, we're either plunked down in this material energy, illusory energy. We take birth after birth after birth in different forms. It's called eternally conditioned. Or we become conscious of Kṛṣṇa, develop affection and attraction, or revive our affection and attraction for Kṛṣṇa in the environment where Kṛṣṇa is personally enjoying pastimes. Kṛṣṇa's God. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the creator of both the material worlds and the spiritual worlds. When you say create, it's not exactly create. It's more like he's the origin, or he's the source. Everything comes from him. So he doesn't create the spiritual world because it's eternal. He doesn't create the living entities because they're eternal. Create means there's a beginning. Well, there's no beginning, but he's the origin. Everything is, he's the source, the eternal source. And the spiritual worlds are manifest for fun and no suffering, all full of knowledge and bliss, eternal, and they're for pleasure. Hey, if you were God, what would you want to do forever, right? I mean, seriously. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Chaitanya. So this is Uddhava's visit to Vrindavan, and this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna book, 10th canto, summary study by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Krishna. And Uddhava, these are the pastimes of Krishna. These are spiritual activities. This is what goes on in the in the other world, the one that doesn't have a beginning and nobody ever dies, and that one. These are the eternal pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that world, Krishna has a cousin whose name is Uddhava, and he looks something like Krishna. He's the son of Krishna's father's brother, his uncle, son of Krishna's uncle, Uddhava. And he looks a lot like Krishna. So Krishna is sending, this is all dramatic performances, okay? It's enactments for pleasure, for fun. So this is, he sent his cousin to Vrindavan to, first of all, give a message to the Gopīs and the residents of Vrindavan, Yasoda and Nanda, who are feeling so much separation from him now that he's taken up his adult responsibilities in the ruling class. So, because there's something that needs to be done. Krishna's not so easy to understand. Well, we just keep hearing about Krishna. We become attracted to Krishna. Then Krishna will reveal more and more. We'll realize more and more about Krishna and appreciate more and more, become more and more blissful. He also sent Uddhava to Vrindavan so that Uddhava could experience what the residents of the simple village, the kind of mood or relationship they have with Krishna, which is a little different from in the big city. Their mood, simple village people. And Uddhava could see the bodily symptoms of Nanda and Yasoda when he began to speak about Krishna. And Nanda began to remember all the pastimes with Krishna as a baby and as a young child and a youth. And Uddhava could see how overcome they were in the mood of love and separation. So Uddhava says, "My dear mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, you have thus fixed your minds wholly and solely upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, in his transcendental form, the cause of impersonal Brahman. See, they don't think of Kṛṣṇa like that, but Uddhava does. See, in Mathura, they're aware that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're aware of that. But in Vrindavan, they don't even consider Kṛṣṇa like that, because it interferes with their intimate, loving mood of mother, father, lovers, play friends. It interferes with that. So they don't even think like that. But here, Uddhava is coming from that other environment where they do think like that. So he's talking to Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj solely upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, in his transcendental form, the cause of impersonal Brahman. He was very intellectual. The Brahman effulgence is only the bodily ray of Narayan, and because you are always absorbed in ecstatic thought of Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, what activity remains to be performed by you? I have brought a message from Kṛṣṇa to the effect that he will soon come back to Vrindavan and satisfy you both by his personal presence. Kṛṣṇa promised that he would come back to Vrindavan after finishing his business in Mathura. This promise he will surely fulfill. I therefore request you both, you are the best among all fortunates, to be not aggrieved on account of Kṛṣṇa's absence. Uddhava. Kṛṣṇa. Hare Krishna. It kind of reminds me of when Ramachandra Puri, I don't want to compare Uddhava to Ramachandra, but Ramachandra Puri, when he saw his spiritual master Madhavendra Puri crying, Madhavendra Puri was at the end of this life, and he was crying in a mood of separation. I have not attained you, I can't find you, I didn't make, like this, in the mood of separation. And Ramachandra Puri tells him, oh, don't cry. Krishna's, it's all one, it's all spiritual, don't cry. Why are you crying? He couldn't understand at all how Kṛṣṇa in his personal form interacts with his devotees. He couldn't understand. Why are you crying? So, why are you feeling anything? You shouldn't be feeling anything. It's all one. Om, right? Kṛṣṇa. So, Uddhava was doing that a little bit here, just a little bit. He doesn't understand completely their ecstasy. Their ecstasy is in the mood of separation. And he's saying, I request you both, don't be aggrieved on account of Kṛṣṇa's absence. He's coming back. Well, he never did go back, because they're eternally absorbed in the mood of separation from Kṛṣṇa. When he leaves, he doesn't go back. He stays with them in this mood of separation. So Uddhava continues. So that's why Kṛṣṇa sent Uddhava there, so he could kind of enter into what goes on here, what this is, this prema bhakti that they have. He wanted Uddhava to be able to appreciate it, realize it. I think Uddhava was the only one that was able to go from Mathura or Dwarka to the Vrindavan. You are already receiving his presence 24 hours a day, and yet he will come and see you very soon. Actually, he's present everywhere, in everyone's heart, just as fire is present in wood. Yeah, he's doing this thing. He can't. Since Kṛṣṇa is the super soul, no one is his enemy, no one is his friend, no one is equal to him, and no one is lower or higher than him. Actually, he has no father, mother, brother, or relative, nor does he require society, friendship, and love. Which is true. He does not have a material body. He never appears or takes birth as an ordinary human being. He does not appear in higher or lower species of life like ordinary living entities who are forced to take birth on account of their previous activities. He appears by his internal potency, just to give protection to the devotee. He's never influenced by the modes of material nature. But when he appears within this material world, it seems that he acts like an ordinary living entity under the spell of the modes of material nature. In fact, he's the overseer of this material creation and is not affected by the material modes of nature. He creates, maintains, and dissolves the whole cosmic manifestation. We wrongly think of Kṛṣṇa and Balaram as ordinary human beings. We are like dizzy men who see the whole world wheeling around them. Personality of Godhead is no one's son. Here they are, absorbed in ecstatic love for Kṛṣṇa as mother and father. And he's saying, you can't be his mother and father. Kṛṣṇa, no one can be his mother and father. Oh, Uddhava, Hare Kṛṣṇa. He's actually everyone's father and mother and supreme controller. There is no doubt of this. Whatever is being experienced, what is ever already in existence, what is not in existence, whatever will be in existence in the future, whatever is the smallest, whatever is the biggest, have no separate existence outside the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything is resting in him, but he is out of touch with everything manifested. So this is all true. He's speaking the truth. One level of truth. Kṛṣṇa. Can you imagine going to Vrindavan and speaking like this? They're all under the spell of Yoga Maya. They don't even think Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He goes there and he's speaking like this. Kṛṣṇa is such a rascal. He sent Uddhava there. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Okay, so Nanda and Uddhava thus passed the whole night in discussing Kṛṣṇa. In the morning, the Gopīs prepared for morning arti by lighting their lamps and sprinkling butter mixed with yogurt. After finishing their Mangal arti, they engaged themselves in churning butter from yogurt. Oh no, he's not going to try and tell the Gopīs, is he? Well, we'll see. While the Gopīs were thus engaged, the lamps reflected on their ornaments became still more illuminated. The churning rod, their arms, their earrings, their bangles, their breasts, everything moved, and the kumkum powder gave their faces a saffron luster comparable to the rising sun. While churning, they also sang the glories of Kṛṣṇa. The two sound vibrations mixed together, ascending to the sky, and sanctified the whole atmosphere. Wow, what a kirtan, huh? Phew. After sunrise, the Gopīs came as usual to offer their respects to Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda. But when they saw the golden chariot of Uddhava at the door, they began to inquire among themselves, what was that chariot? And to whom did it belong? Some of them inquired whether Akrura, who had taken away Kṛṣṇa, had again returned. They were not very pleased with Akrura because, being engaged in the service of Kamsa, he took Kṛṣṇa away to the city of Mathura. All the Gopīs conjectured that Akrura might have come again to fulfill another cruel plan. But they thought, we are now dead bodies without our Supreme Master Kṛṣṇa. What further act can he perpetrate on these dead bodies? While they were talking in this way, Uddhava finished his morning ablutions, prayers, and chanting, and came before them. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 45th chapter of Kṛṣṇa. Uddhava visits Vrindavan. So the next chapter is chapter 46, delivery of the message of Kṛṣṇa to the Gopīs. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda.